Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say has resorted to standing on one leg while spinning around 3 times, tossing his phone in the air like a hot potato every time he sees a server update drop. All I know is I call him Stan.
Yeah, this lack of news has got me on the edge. We got the Discord bot. Every time the news pops up, it gives me an alert, and I'm get all excited. Oh, we're going to get some information. No, we're just updating the server.
It's going through. I mean, he's resorted to all the old baseball rally cap tricks. Going through, there's bound to be something that's going to work one of these days.
One of these days, it is going to work, yeah. Oh, man, it has been just a heck of a 2020 so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It has not slowed down yet. I'm hoping it will eventually to be able to get caught up with everything, and I don't know whether it's actually seems like it's going really quick and it's really busy because there's nothing to go in the game and I'm actually paying attention to everything outside now, or I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I guess we should be thankful that not a whole lot going on in the game because, man, work has just been dumb. And I know you've gotten on your end too, but it's just been nonstop. And you probably tell I'm fighting a cold, so I'm a little stuffy this week. So bear with me on that.
Yeah, I definitely hear you with work and everything going through. And every time I turn around, it's like I get into a spot and I'm like, all right, I'm starting to get everything organized, got everything underneath me going kind of smoothly. And then they're like, hey, we're going to move you into a different spot again. And I'm like, come on, now I have to redo everything. I finally had a little bit of time in which I could like pay attention, maybe hit a raid or two a week, and now it's like completely gone. And I'm like, oh.
It's the reworking of mods of your work life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, speaking of, shout out to Ethan out there. He's one of these days we're gonna link up. He's gonna show me how to do the Grand Ivory thing and get my mods in order. He heard me talking about it and how my mods are in just such disarray. Just haven't been able to link up yet. We're gonna get there.
No, my mods aren't too bad of a disarray as far as modding goes, because I do a pretty good job of kind of like mixing my top team and then kind of spreading out my mods based on the teams that I use for Grand Arena and Territory Wars. My issue is I just have to focus down, and I've been working on it this week especially, like going through the mod store, making sure I'm buying good mods, upgrading them, trying to slice them, trying to find the speeds and secondaries that I'm actually need, and actually paying a little bit more attention of actually upgrading mods rather than just spending an hour or two here like once a month, maybe not even that, on upgrading a whole bunch of mods all at once and kind of slapping them on different characters based on what I just got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got decent mods. They're just not optimized, so I should put it that way. It's not complete disarray. I've got sets. I've got a general idea of what I want my characters to do, but I'm sure there's, a 150 offense hiding out there somewhere to be better used on one of my main characters.
Yeah, there's always something that pops up that you don't expect. So, what else has been going on?
Oh, let's see. Been doing a lot of volunteer work in town. We got a little animal shelter adoption center we're helping to staff and run. So been playing with all the cute little fuzzy animals and trying to find them a home. So been doing that.
How close are you to the next GP level?
It's a little while.
While?
Yeah, I got a little while to go on that. I think we're good on now. Our houses cannot handle another fuzzy animal. Oh, man. Got a little bit of hope for Celebration 2020. It was just out the blue. My girlfriend showed me a text that one of her coworkers sent. One of their friends has some tickets to some Star Wars fest in LA next year or this year, but can't go, and want to know if we were interested in them. Well, it's been a hard no up to this point, but her response was, we got to kind of see what's going on. We've got maybe some other plans, but we'll definitely think about it. So they're telling me there's a chance.
That's right. You just have to go through and kind of update the budget for that and be like, all right, we're gonna hold off on the autographs and some of the other things and just kind of go through and enjoy it and not try to go through and make it hey, we could spend this because I'm not going to go every year, to getting into the mentality of, you know what, let's just experience it, and the cost is more of the tickets to get there and staying there.
Yeah, the issue this one's going to be there without going to Disneyland and Galaxy's Edge, and that's going to add a whole couple days to it, and hell, we're still paying off Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely be worth heading over. Well, that gets a little hairy because everybody's going to want to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be...
It's almost like if you go through, depending on what day tickets they have, taking a day during the convention and going over.
Yeah, and that's what we did last year in Chicago. We didn't have Saturday tickets. That was the day we used to go sightsee in Chicago and see the Cubs game and all that. So it worked out that way. But you've been watching Disney Imagineers, so
yeah,
they give you any tips on it?
Well, actually, quite a bit, because they were going through, and the last couple episodes were actually them getting into the design aspect of Bakhtu and how they were going through and actually designing the rides and where they took their inspirations of, which I was kind of drawing comparisons into Galaxy of Heroes, because they were actually going through, and the Imagineers, and they went through a transition of theme parks in which they went through, and a portion at Disney went through this when they did like Disney California, Disney Paris, I forget, I think it was Disney Hong Kong also to some extent. They went through and started to try to create these smaller theme parks, and they weren't really going through and doing like a full immersion of Disney, in which you expect at Disney World, Disneyland, in which you aren't going through completely blinded off by the outside world. And how they've gone through over the last, about 10 years, maybe 12 years, how they've been going back into those lands and repurposing them and bringing them into the fold of a Disneyland, Disney World. Like Disney California, they went through and made a Cars section and did a whole rock wall to try to enclose it off from the landscape, the power poles, and hotels and everything that you could actually see from within the amusement park, which you don't see anywhere else. How they've been going through and taking older rides and updating the systems and putting in newer Disney characters into the ride to update them to bring them into the newer generation. And it kind of reminded me of Galaxy of Heroes being in this transition period. You had the original release. We went into a transition in which it went through and it was a whole bunch of marquee characters. Now, I can't decide whether the game's in this transition of like what Disney went through, and it's just trying to go through and open up a whole bunch of different parks and open up a whole different aspect of the game, in which it's not really working out. They're just trying to go through for a cash grab. Or if it's a transition in which they're taking a step back and trying to go through and find a way to extend its longevity, in which they're building systems, implementing newer parts to be able to go through and extend everything out because of the success and taking cues from the beginning and now translating over. And they kind of lost their way halfway through, whether it was through game designers or overall aspect on people coming in, changing the culture of the game.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point. We'll get into it too. They talk about some of that in the Q&A kind of vaguely, so we'll see what we think they mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real good point. Real cool analogy there.
Yeah, it was just really interesting on how they went through, and just by having in Disney's case, it was a new president come in and realizing the downfall on why amusement park attendance and people weren't enjoying the parks as much is because basically they stripped out all the cost. They tried to do everything as cheap as possible and said, well, it has the Disney name, people will show up. And then when they showed up, they weren't given the experience that they thought. And then they came in and were like, well, we need to fix this. And how there's a lag because you go through and you have to redesign everything to get to that point to bring everything up to snuff, especially after it's been 10 to 15 years of just that quick, no budget, just try to put it out because it has a Disney name to it. And it seems like the game was kind of going through that transition. I'm hoping, very much hoping, we're on the back end in which they saw that happening, in which it was just a cash grab, and now they're going through and reworking the systems to be able to give a better experience to the players on what they've grown to expect.
Yeah. Sorry. Getting fighting skull had to move away from the mic. Yeah, I agree.
So we will see, but other than that, I mean, we're recording here on the 19th. I just got up this morning to go through and watch SpaceX watch their last demo mission. Well, last certification mission, which was a launch abort test. So they basically launched a rocket, got it up to their maximum aerodynamic pressure, and they did their abort system on the capsule that would actually hold astronauts here at some point. Launch that out, and then just watch the rocket basically just blow itself up because of the... It went through, and all of a sudden you take this aerodynamic thing and you take off the nose cone, and it just crumpled itself into a big fireball. I was like, yep, that is why I wanted to get up, because usually you don't have a big rocket like that and have people purposely and go through and think it's probably going to blow up, so let's just do this.
There's a that's what she said somewhere in that statement.
Oh, yeah.
I'm too medicated to dig it out.
She was looking for that big rocket to explode.
Yeah, there you go. Let's get out of here. Hey, no new patrons this year. Who wants to be the first of 2020? Head on over to patreon.com/Cantina Vizsla. We will get you a shiny, fresh shout out. You will get access to our super secret hidden Discord channels. We will help you with Grand Arena if you need it. We'll just love you eternally. How about that?
That's right. That's what she said.
So, yeah, that's out there. If you like helping out, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah. We don't try to go through and make money off of this. It just goes into basically what equipment we're putting in, going back to you guys, or just going through server fees. So,
yeah, paying the bills.
Yep, that's all we're using it for. So, what have you been doing in the game in the slow time? You got to be like going through, projects are getting done. I mean, there's so much opportunity to do with downtime, right?
I'm looking at a lot of green pluses, just tons of green pluses. I've got like 20 or so Carbantes I'm sitting on, about 7 stun guns, just so much gear. I did go ahead and take my 501st clones up to relic level 5.
With that, have you done the auto tank team with Shakti?
I haven't yet. No, I should have done that today, but I didn't.
Was that today?
I'll try it next time to see what happens.
Was that today or for tomorrow?
We did the tank today because my phone died in the middle of phase 3, so I lost my progress.
Oh.
Womp womp.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Yeah, but it's those rewards suck anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah.
It got me up to 5.5 million GP.
Oh man,
And,
hold on. We'll do something for you here. There we go.
whew. Thanks, Chewy. I may get bored and dick around and try to get 5 GP. We'll see what happens.
And you have to do it by upgrading 5s.
Yes. Well, what did you get done?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
All right. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been going through, and as we discussed last week, we were both super close to getting Sky Guy, General Anakin Skywalker, up to 7 stars. So I'm at 90 of 100 for him. As soon as this territory battle is done and wrapped up, I will take him immediately to 7 stars, and I've been kind of hoarding gear to make sure I can take him specifically up to gear 13 first, and then I will go back through and start taking my clones up to gear 13 also. I just don't want to... I want to make sure General Skywalker gets there first before anybody else.
Right.
That is my big thing, so I've just been kind of hoarding gear, hoarding/farming gear that I know is required for him, and kind of going from there. So nothing really. I wish I could say I had better projects or something like that, but I do not.
Yeah, even our community's been real slow. We didn't have a whole lot of completion shout-outs for anybody really since last show. Zeke and Drew Nuts hit Kyber on their Grand Arena, so congrats on that.
Yeah, speaking of that, how
I didn't get close.
You know how I went through and said that first attack phase that I kind of lost track of time and only did one battle? Yeah, so I missed Kyber by 2,000 points. So if I would have either won one more or even just completing that first actually attacked period and got 1,300 points, in which I probably would have won that first Grand Arena, considering he did not clear my board, I would have hit Kyber also. But
it's painful.
Yeah, I did not, but I thought my chances and everything, I did not think anything of it, like going into the final round, and then like the final round happened, and I completed a few of the challenges and went through, and I'm like, and then I won one, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like looking at my score, and I'm like, this is a real possibility. I could go through and actually hit Kyber, and then I lost the next 2 rounds, and I was like, well, there goes that. The quest for Kyber will happen. I'll hit Kyber one of these times, and then the novelty will wear off, but I would like to hit Kyber at least once.
Yeah, we'll get another chance here soon. We're in an interesting time. You mentioned we're both just right on the edge of getting General Skywalker maxed out. I think a lot of people are right on that cusp too. Our guild cluster actually split. Like, a lot of people wanted to go do Hoth again, for whatever reason, to try to get some more Skywalker shards.
Yeah, I was going to say, those guys were a little bit behind us. We're going through, and we're in good shape, in which we're going to hit Skywalker actually fairly easily with the amount of currency we need. They actually need quite a bit more. They're sitting more at like that 75 to 80 range of shards for General Skywalker. So
yeah,
they need a little bit more of a boost.
Yeah, this kind of leads me into my conspiracy theorist hat. I think we're going to get him maxed out. It's going to be right before the next territory war. That will give people a limited time to use him there, and then in Grand Arena. Then end of the month, we're getting the Galactic Legends news, which I expect to kind of take over the meta.
Well, they also said, we're going to get news for them, but it almost sounded like we weren't going to get those characters until March. Middle of March, end of March.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they say. I'm thinking maybe a little bit sooner, but I'm at this point, man.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned something about being what was it? It had to be a month past the release of the movie before they could release spoilers for some reason.
Okay. That makes sense. Like they would be
they
bound by some rules there.
Yeah, they had like a month before they were allowed to release some information, which I think that's why the names aren't released and certain characters aren't released yet, because they're more heavily involved into the movie.
All right. And they also said they wanted to try something new so we wouldn't have to panic farm. So I could kind of see them. Yeah, I know.
Define the panic farm is, hey, there's no way you can actually get these characters without paying, so don't worry about panicking.
Well, I don't
know. That would get rid of the panic farm if it's only crystal purchases for like a new Poe or something in order to get a character. I mean, you really don't have to worry about panicking because you cannot farm the characters.
That is true. No, I think it's going to be just insane gear requirements. Get ready for your Gear 13 Rose. It's coming.
Yeah.
That's, I guess while we're talking about the calendar, I got it pulled up here. Yeah, we're in the middle of the territory battle. Republic offensive is getting stomped. But I think we'll
wait a second. Wait. It is not getting stomped. We are getting stomped in the Republic offensive.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
yeah. Cold medicine.
We're not stomping anything.
Cold medicine. You definitely said the Republic offensive is getting stomped. I'm like, whoa.
No. Okay, well, if I said that, my central processing unit has been damaged.
We'll get Bubba Frick over there to help you.
Yes, please. But we're doing the thing where, edge up on a star, fail it, get 2 stars the next day, go on to the next one. So I think we should end up with around 15 stars, I think, what they're estimating.
Yeah, somewhere right around there. Somewhere, if we do everything properly, it should be 15. So 14, 15, in case someone messes up. Because more than likely very well could happen like in ships or anything, because it's kind of odd you have to go through and get less than 1 star that I think it's tomorrow to be able to go through and 2 star it the next day.
All right. Yeah, I just can't really gear too many people up for this thing just without something's missing, so I'm not going to go too hard on this one just yet. We got Grand Arena coming up. They have not it's not in the game yet, so have they said this is going to be back to 5v5? This is week 1 on the calendar.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they did say it was going back to 5v5 because they said it was only going to be 1 season of 3v3 and then go back.
I think they announced the schedule. I just don't feel like looking it up right now. Sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be some sort of 5v5. I do not know. They definitely did not announce the map layout, whether it's going to be like the ship zone at top, everything on the bottom, or split up into 4 zones, or how it's split up yet.
Okay. Well, that territory battle is going to end on the 22nd. We've got a 1-day break before the territory war starts. So I would guess we'll probably get a title or a game update on the 23rd, which will drop some of the new farmable characters and pack characters. I think we're going to see that on the 23rd, and maybe the update to show some more of the Galactic Legends characters or requirements.
Well, that would go through and fit with a month after the release of Rise of Skywalker, and we might be able to get some character names and a little bit more information as far as spoilers go.
Yeah. So should be some good information this week. I'm looking forward to it.
We say that every week.
Yeah, Territory Wars, we had some good ones. We haven't won, but we've had some good fights. No new challengers or slayers, though. So if you see Stand the Sparrow in your opponents, let us know. And if you win that Territory War or Grand Arena, we will hook you up with a Slayer tag in our Discord.
Yeah,
everybody will know.
Yeah,
They're
it's
badass.
it's been a rough few territory wars. We decided our guild kind of went through a transition and going into a little bit more territory war focused or taken a little bit more seriously. So we seem to have jumped up a guild bracket on as far as who we're competing against, and it's a little bit of a transition going up against full walls of relicked out General Anakin Skywalkers.
Right? Yeah.
You open up a wall and every single General Anakin Skywalker
No,
is relicked out, and I'm like, oh.
Now, what do you mean? We just blow right through those. So if you go up against us, definitely do not set a wall of General Anakin's because we're just gonna chew them up like some macaroni and cheese.
Well, we will now, but I mean, we've competed against them the last 4 times, and now I'm gonna have my General Anakin Skywalker relicked out. Yeah, it's not gonna be a problem anymore.
I was just trying to use some reverse psychology on it.
I want them to set it. I like the challenge. Bring it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that's the calendar. Let's move on.
All right. So we had a dev Q&A about
there were many Q's. There were a few A's.
yeah, which once again, it's kind of like last time. Not a lot came out in the game, and not a lot changed. So I don't know how they expected new questions to miraculously come up.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate them doing this because it's been one of the complaints is not enough communication, but also there needs to be some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine if they would alternate this. Like, all right, so we didn't have a lot of information come out, so maybe they do kind of like what Carrie did with like a state of the galaxy stating on what they're working on, what they hope to achieve within the next couple months to try to give the player base a kind of anticipation of what to expect into the game,
Right.
and kind of alternating that with the Q&As depending on what's going on.
Yeah. Well, they did give us a little bit of that. They kind of the main thing they focused on. People were asking about what their kind of biggest regrets for 2019, what they're looking forward to for 2020. Like we talked about at the top of the show, is they're wanting to build out systems to allow them to pump out content a lot faster than they have in the past. And I've said it before. I still think this links back to not really planning for this game to be around for so long.
And that's definitely part of it. And I think other part of it is realizing that a lot of the mobile games have transitioned from when this game came out, in which it was all pay to play, a lot of stop and wait to play. And now games have transitioned to we want to give you an opportunity. Yeah, there's parts of the game that you need to go through and play at certain times and you have to wait for. But there's also a part of the game in which there's always something to do. Because I don't know about you, but this weekend I went in and did my dailies and did the challenges and everything. And it's like I deployed for territory battles and I'm like, well, I spent a half hour in the game and I've done everything.
Yeah, like 15 minutes. Like,
yeah.
I'll do that when I wake up in the morning, before I roll out of bed and shower, and I'm done.
Yes.
I'll come check in again with my refresh and see what's in the store, but until my arena climb a couple hours later, there's nothing for me to do in the game.
And I even forget about my arena climb. It's just I haven't relicked out my Revan Malik team, so arena's just a pain to me. It's like I'll go through and completely forget about it these last couple weeks. So it's not even like going through and I'm like, oh, I should do the arena climb. And I'm like, it just sounds like a pain right now because it's not enjoyable.
I don't know. My arena is actually pretty decent right now. We've got a real good mix of teams. I've seen Padme teams. Still got the Grievous Nuke team. Even Jedi Revan. So.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's not because there's a lack of mix or anything. It's just I haven't focused on my arena team because I've been I was gearing up everybody to get General Anakin Skywalker, and I kind of did a quick little couple relics on my Revan team just to kind of get by in anticipation to go over to Skywalker, and it's just in that weird transition period that I'm just like, it's not enjoyable for me in Arena. So I just kind of,
Right.
I'll completely forget about it. I'll do ships, but I won't do regular Arena.
Yeah. I don't know. My ships are still doing pretty good too. Yeah, just more stuff to do in the game would be great because, and again, from the business side of it, why pay to get all your characters leveled up if there's nothing to do with them? So that may be actually be the other side of that coin, is all these new modes or things that we can do in the game are going to require more investment into characters that we may not have invested in before. So that, it's going to be a trade-off there.
Yeah, it's going to be curious to see what they come up with and see where they go from there. It did definitely did sound like they were either going to. Well, it definitely sounds like something's happening with Grand Arena. Grand Arena is not going to be what it is currently here shortly. It definitely sounds like that mode is getting changed.
Where do you see that at? I'm trying to see what the quote was.
That was more statements just on. They were asking about Grand Arena hard mode, or not Grand Arena. Sorry, Galactic War, like a hard mode or anything.
Yes, okay, all right, yeah. You
sorry,
real confused there for a minute.
Sorry, Galactic War.
The Galactic March, Galactic War, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Something that we haven't played in years.
Right, the sim thing.
Yes.
Get your shard shop. They did say they're going to add new tiers for the assault battles, which that could be okay.
Yeah, basically, I don't know if that's going to be okay or not, just because some of those assault battles require very specific teams, which I would imagine they're trying to go through and get you to gear them up to Gear 13 and Relic them out to be able to compete those tiers, which some of them aren't going to be the greatest, like, Empire.
Right. Empire, Ewoks, the Phoenix.
Well, no, the Phoenix Assault Battle is tied in with Night Sisters. So,
okay.
Relicking out Night Sisters is not going to be as painful.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Thrawn event.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we're getting that before new challenge tiers. So,
Meh. You can't win them all.
Can't win them all. Another thing they actually dialed back was these relic abilities. That was part of the sell when relics came out, was at a certain point you'd be able to unlock new abilities. So it looks like that's not going to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, which I'm not completely upset.
I'm not mad about it.
No, I'm not upset about it either. I think I can't decide whether they went through and did that transition of realizing they need more content in the game to be able to use all the characters, and had to get away from the relic abilities just because of if every character gets a relic ability, or even just a handful of them, the amount of character balance that would go into that would be extraordinary to be able to do that. So, and
also if they tie like a significant rework, ability, like say Mace Windu sucks. We all know he sucks, but if you have to get him to Gear 13 to make him usable, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Oh, don't give him any ideas. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that then. As you were talking about that, I was like, oh, I could see that happening. Oh,
yeah,
that
so
would
maybe
hurt.
it's a good thing this is on the back burner now. So.
Yes.
We've speculated, and they've confirmed we will be getting a new Poe of some sort.
Yeah, probably a General Poe.
Yeah.
Is more, more than likely what it's going to be. We'll see what his abilities are. I'm not really 100% sure because he spent the majority of the movie in an X-Wing.
Yeah, I don't.
So
it's hard for me to get excited about a new Poe. He didn't do a whole lot.
No, he just kind of Yeah, he was
there.
he was there, but that was about it.
Is I mean, it's, move one, heterosexual eyebrow waggle.
Yeah.
Move two, crippling remorse.
Ca-
I don't know.
Confirmation. I'm into the females.
Right, hey guys, everybody, pay attention.
Yeah.
I like girls. I know. That man.
I don't know.
We'll talk about this a little bit later, but the original script of episode 9, Duel of the Fates, it's leaked. It's been all over everything, but there were some interesting things in there, and I guess we'll talk about that in our Star Wars segment. But let's see. We talked about Galactic Legends. We should be getting info on that toward the end of the month.
It might even be this week, honestly, because they said the big thing about that was waiting until a month after the release of the movie. So that should be technically tomorrow, the 20th. So it could possibly be this week, which would be nice.
I think so. Yeah, I hope so. We need something to speculate and go crazy on. I've noticed this, but I never noticed this. Somebody brought it up in some of the artwork questions. Earth's moon is on the splash screen.
Well, I guess Earth is part of the Star Wars galaxy.
No. It's a galaxy far, far away. Well, we may be part of the, we may be in the same. We're in the same universe.
Same universe. So I mean, you got to throw some sort of moon in there, right?
That's no moon. Either way, moon, get back over here. You don't belong over there. Come on.
Yeah, the next one is kind of. I mean, I could have. Watching the movie, I could have anticipated this. That Rey and Kylo are not from the end of Rise of Skywalker. They are from some point during
in the movie. Yes.
Yeah, some point in the movie, but not at the end.
So Kylo, okay, got it. He's gonna be Supreme Leader Kylo. He'll have First Order synergy, and they mention like some other twists that these legendary characters will have. Rey, though, that's kind of interesting. We've always assumed this would be Jedi Rey. Would be her at the end of the movie.
I still think it goes through and reflects that. I think that just determines. It's going to determine what lightsaber she has. Period. That's all that matters. That's the only difference as far as that goes. It's just what lightsaber she has at the end.
So, what do you think her official name will be? Just
Jedi Rey.
Jedi Rey. Okay.
Yeah, she'll just be Jedi Rey.
Okay, so there's specifically she's not going to be Rey Skywalker.
Nope. She'll be Jedi Rey.
Did you see that meme with Rey at the end of the movie, and like the old lady asks her what her name is, and then a Force ghost of a B-1 battle droid just shows up, and she's like, Rager.
I did not see that one. I saw a couple other memes with that one, or like with that sequence, but not that one.
Oh, it was so good. And that was a Q&A. I'm going to scroll through one more time and see if we can just dig out something.
Yeah. Well, I dug out the Galactic War that you kind of skipped over, but...
Yeah. Well, okay, the Galactic Legends, going back to that, I'm quoting Viking here. Galactic Legends will feature a new mechanic as well as a couple of other unique twists. They will be powerful and iconic. We have plans to start revealing details in the coming weeks, so stay tuned.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, and everybody would have guessed that because every legendary character that comes into the game has a new mechanic that is involved with it.
Right, yeah.
Let me think about this. Yeah, everybody has a new mechanic or new debuff. It's not.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do some more with the summon mechanic they built into the game. I think there could be some cool things with that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll come out with these characters, but I'm hoping they come out with more information or more characters using the summon ability. That's for sure.
Yeah, they should. Okay, listener questions, Q&As for us. Let's see if we got more A's than Q's. Starting off, Nerd Cole asks, how much time have you two actually spent together in person? Referring to you and I. Big old none.
0.
Zero time. Maybe one day. I would actually love to have some sort of, Cantina Vizsla meetup, party, celebration. What they call it, something in their Discord. Got everybody all hot and bothered. A super sexy spring break, something or other.
Figure something out.
Yeah, maybe one day. I mean, I live in this wonderful destination of southern Arkansas. It's especially a thoroughfare that everybody should be passing through at some point or another.
I am in central Pennsylvania, so at the drop of the hat, it could be 30 degrees or 80. So
right, yeah. One day we'll try to get something going.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Zeke asks, with ships being stale metas for a long period of time, at the top end very RNG dependent since everything is maxed out, would you like to see some sort of ship mods coming to the game?
So
for me, short answer, no. Long answer, no. Sorry. Joke.
We were talking about this before we started recording, and both of us kind of agreed that the ship meta is kind of in a transition right now, in which, yes, since ships has started, yes, the meta has been very stale, very long periods of time, everything maxed out, very RNG dependent. Right now, I think it's in a transition because you can still win with Akbar. You still have Malevolence. Well, you now have Malevolence and you now have Negotiator. Malevolence and Negotiator are not a complete team yet because you're missing the Y-Wing, the Hyena Bomber, and Vulture Droid within those teams. So you really aren't seeing fully fleshed out multiple squads yet. And it seems like between Akbar, Malevolence, and Negotiator, you're going to have more of a rock, paper, scissors matchup. That when you actually have those teams all built out, you'll be able to swap in and out to be able to climb and then have better ones for defense.
Right, yeah. I want to see Arena shake out more. I want to see more PvE with ships. Give us more to do with all these fleets we're building out. Then maybe we start looking at mods and looking at a little more customization there.
Yeah, and it sounds like that's going to happen with this new raid they're working on, that we're going to get a little bit more with ships and kind of going from there.
Right. All right, well, moving on. Drew, the CV Slayer, asks, after seeing that we use Get 1 for Malak and General Skywalker, Get 2 for Malevolence and Negotiator, are you going to save your Get for maybe future tunes, or do you think we'll have a Get 3 at some point with more tunes?
So he is missing 2 characters in there. For Get 1, you also have Wampa and Hermit Yoda.
Right.
To go along with that. And my answer is no, I'm not saving up for any future tunes because as of right now, I mean, if we get a Get 3, I will save up with that to see what characters get thrown in there and then decide what to go after. But as far as Get 1 and Get 2, no, I'm not saving because both with Malak and General Skywalker, for general use, or for most cases, the way this game is set up, I'm not going to be able to go through and unlock that character first go around. It's going to be the second go around that I unlock them, or unlock a character, in which when that character gets announced, I could start saving up currency and then be able to take them right up to 7 stars fairly close after getting them the second time. So I'm not really worried about it. It's not worth me sacrificing the gear.
Yeah, I actually am going to save. I kind of think we're going to get 3 at some point. And if that's the case, I'll have a whole stockpile to spend all at once, and that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm going to save for a little bit till it gets a little more clear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to save Get 2 for a good
Oh,
long
yeah,
while
yeah.
with
Same.
needing the Malevolence, but yeah, Get 1 I am going to be spending as soon as I take General Skywalker up to 7 stars. 4 characters seem like a good place to leave it, and then just getting gear afterwards. I guess I could see saving Get 2 for an eventual legendary character or whatever Panic Farm event they want to go through and call it, and putting a character in there for Get 2 to go along with the Negotiator Malevolence. But as of right now, no, I'm not worried about hoarding any currency.
Okay. All right. Well, R8898 asks, what is the best strategy when using clones for a territory battle? Should you try to get a clone killed to sacrifice fives and spread buffs to others or not? Which leader should you use? Shock T, General Skywalker, or Rex? Is there an ideal lineup for specific uses? So, territory battles. Well, right now, I haven't got a whole lot of, for me personally, don't have any experience with General Skywalker in territory battles yet. So we are using Shock T and trying to keep everybody alive. I mean, just that firepower out there, it's good. You're getting more kind of regen and all that. It's still not doing great in getting 2 to 3 waves. So maybe there is a better strategy out there. What are you seeing?
So as far as going through and getting a clone killed to sacrifice and spread the buffs, not worth it. You're going to want to go through. A clone's going to die anyway, and Five's going to sacrifice himself to spread the buffs. There's no need to speed up that inevitability within territory battles right now. Just go ahead, let it happen naturally. Don't go through and try to spread it. General Skywalker is going to be the better leader as of right now if you have him 7-star and obviously geared up over Shock T, I believe.
Yeah. Now, as far as the Ahsoka arc, I'd say arc. Put Ahsoka back with Padme.
Yes, definitely arc, because you do not want to take Ahsoka out of that Padme team. You need to try to build out as many teams as possible, and that Padme team requires Ahsoka in there for that buff to spell.
All right, yeah, you got to get away from that tank.
Yep.
All right, Cotman 3, the question man is back. Hey, he's got a list here, so get your drink. Best guesses at next raid. We talked about this a couple times. I think it's going to be a sequel trilogy. Kind of scenes hitting the entirety of the sequel trilogy to include ships. What do you got?
Death Star raid. Death Star raid. I would kind of enjoy seeing a Rogue One raid, as far as them going through getting the Death Star plans and having the battle above the planet.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I think that would be very cool to see. I don't know if they would go that way, though, unfortunately. But it would be interesting to see, because then you can go through and... Well, I guess I could talk myself into this being feasible, because I could see raid bonuses happening and saying the Rogue One squad and ships have raid bonuses, which would go through, and you would want to go through and gear up those characters more than where they've been sitting right now to be able to get through the raid.
Yeah, remember Ugnaughts raid bonus?
Oh yeah, and the Jawas. I mean,
yeah. Oh come on, hey CG, rework Ugnaught, make him quill.
The Jawas did have a place within the tank raid for a while until they decided that. Yeah. Well, and then they decided, that's an exploit in the game, and they went through and closed it up. And we're like, wait, you gave bonuses to Jawas to make them usable within a raid, and then you basically neutered them and said, yep, not anymore.
Right. Oh man, this takes me back when the tank was hard.
Oh, it takes me back when you needed TiVo to get through the Rancor.
Guys, get your Qui-Gon potency up. All right, will the vets ever get a resistance tag, especially Chewie? Probably not.
I wish they would. Same way with Fulcrum
They
Ahsoka.
need to.
Same way with the
do.
Fulcrum Ahsoka. Fulcrum Ahsoka should have a Phoenix tag.
I would agree there too.
So, yeah, I wish.
I think now we're since the meta shifted so far away from that, I think it wouldn't break the game or break balance to help them out a little bit.
Yeah, and that was their original reasoning behind it, was that they did try to give like Fulcrum Ahsoka the Phoenix tag, and it just basically made the team too strong, and it did not work as far as game balance goes. And I would imagine the vets kind of did the same thing, but yeah, the game has definitely progressed beyond that, and I think it should be added in now.
Yes, especially if you've got to get the vet smugglers to get the raid, to get the new raid.
Oh yeah,
make them useful. All right,
sure.
will Resistance and Mandalorian content come to the game? Resistance, no. Mandalorian, absolutely.
Yeah, Mandalorian, absolutely. Hopefully, here at the right around the beginning of the second season. Resistance. I say it's 50-50. I could see them doing it because it allows a lot of flexibility to add both characters and ships into the game. But I don't know if it was well received enough in order to spend the resources and get people to actually buy the characters.
Yeah, and not only that, they just never... And we'll talk about this too, but Resistance is wrapping up. A couple episodes left. They were just finding their stride a little bit, but it was just so contained in the little small window they had to tell a story. I just don't think they were given enough of a meaningful arc to make. And so I don't think we're going to get Resistance characters. They're just outside of Kaz. There's not a whole lot of personality there, for one. I wouldn't know what they would do in a 5v5 matchup.
I don't think they would get characters. I think they would get ships.
Yeah, just plain old ships.
Yeah, I think you would get 3 to 4 ships, both First Order and Resistance, and they would go into a First Order Resistance team within ships.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would actually have the pilots or just be just the ships listed, because you could have the red First Order TIE Fighter or whatever they call it.
Yeah, well, that dude died in the first season.
What?
You got that.
But you still have that red TIE Fighter. So, there's things they could use, but it definitely seems more ship-oriented in which they could do it and don't have to build out a full team, and they could tie them into a Resistance and First Order. Hopefully
there's
future
stuff
meta.
There's stuff they could do, but is it more compelling than making a raid or making new challenge tiers?
No.
Probably not.
The only
sorry, Cotman.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only chance I see is that they had a First Order and Resistance capital ship, and they need ships to fill it out. I could see them using that show to help fill in ships for that. But that's it.
Maybe. All right, we know Galactic Legends are coming. Who are 3 legendary status characters for the new year?
Ooh. Okay.
That's a tough one.
Gonna go with Return of the Jedi Luke.
Okay, you think it's gonna be a legendary?
Something that's gonna require 5 or more characters to unlock is what I'm defining a legendary character at. It seems like every time they release a Panic Farm character, they change the title. That way they can change up the event. So,
Gotcha. Okay, I can see that. Leia, I think we will get that. I don't think they're going to release her as a pay character.
You're thinking General Leia, Resistance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a third. Let's go.
The worm guy from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I don't know about a third. I almost want to go. I don't know whether they go like Clone Wars era and actually do a legendary event in that era, or if they go back to like an Old Republic or an older era.
I'm gonna go on a limb here. It's gonna be way later in the year, but depending on how season 2 goes, I could see Moff Gideon possibly being a legendary character.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I know who I'm going to go with the legendary status of.
All right, what you got?
A new Vader.
Okay.
Because Vader currently is a farmable character. Doesn't that seem odd?
Now, are we talking suit Vader? Or are we talking pre-crispy critter Vader?
Now,
Or which Vader are we talking about?
I would hope like the new comic Vader would be really cool to see, but I have a feeling it's going to be more.
Because they've talked about the hero's fall before. We haven't got that yet.
Yeah, it could be technically Anakin with gold eyes, Vader.
Yeah, Sith Anakin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's technically Darth Vader at that time. So
yeah.
they could do zero suit Anakin.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on what form it would be, but definitely something with Vader.
Okay.
Because there's been a lot of, even around the Star Wars community, a lot of like the fan fiction, like fan film Vader series seems to be getting traction as far as doing those, the comics and everything like that. There's a lot of stuff going on with Vader outside of the movies and show. So hopefully we'll get a new Vader as a legendary character. Or not a new Vader, but a legendary Vader.
I'd be cool with that. All right, and then finally, there's been a lot of talk on this too. Thoughts on the future of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes after seeing the game has made almost $1 billion. They will keep trying to make another $1 billion. I don't know. I've always said I think this game has well lived past the expected life cycle of it, and I think as long as the engagement numbers stay up, they will continue to try to extend it for as cheap as possible for as long as they can.
Yeah, this basically goes right into what I was talking about at the beginning of the show as far as Galaxy of Heroes being in that transition period in which they went through those evolutions, and I'm hoping, so much hoping, that the game's going through a transition in which it's trying to create more content and more engagement for the players within the game so they can kind of revert back and bring into players of what actually made them that much money.
Right. And also, we always got to keep in mind that having $1 billion doesn't mean that EA is going to pour $1 billion back into this game. This is not what this product is designed to do. It's designed to fill their bank accounts up so they can go make other stuff. And as long as this one still makes sense on a balance sheet where the money that are spending to upkeep this would not give them a greater return on investment somewhere else, then the game will keep going. But until that, if it crosses that threshold, they'll move the money to somewhere else, and this game will die.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they went through and were looking at those sheets, and CG was able to go through and give them a plan in which saying, hey, if you were able to invest this amount of money into the system for us to upgrade and have this downtime, that we can go through and extend the game out, because they want to go through and extend that Star Wars brand and how much money that actually brings in.
Right. And I think that's a big part of this building the new pipeline out, because they've got to basically pump content out for as little as possible that's going to get as much engagement as possible. And they also talked about some quality of life stuff they want to do. They want to try to redo the graphics engine, the lighting engine specifically, to make the game look more like a current game.
So overall good. So
costs money
hopefully,
too.
yeah, overall good ideas. Hopefully, and it seems like they're trying to go through and continue on and extend the game out for as long as possible, and by updating the systems and transition time. So we'll see where it goes over probably, I would say over the next, 3 to 4 months. We should have a pretty good idea of where they plan on taking the game over the next couple of years.
Yeah. I think the biggest challenge is going to be lack of big tentpole movie releases. I mean, the hardcore Star Wars fans that are watching Clone Wars, watching Mandalorian, they're already on board with the game or not. So there's not going to be a huge mass market to pull in based on Rise of Skywalker or anything, at least in the next year.
I think I would slightly disagree, only because of the impact The Mandalorian had.
Right.
Because it almost seems like The Mandalorian is having that impact of a Game of Thrones, in which everybody's talking about it. As soon as it released, everybody's talking about it, not just within the Star Wars community, but just general media to begin with. So,
yeah, we'll see if that iron will still be hot when they bring it back later in the year.
Yeah, Baby Yoda, baby.
Baby Yoda, yeah. You can build a bear. You can go. You can go to Build-A-Bear here a while and build your own. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah. So let's get into this marquee watch. I mean, we have a couple characters showing up very quickly here.
Yeah, we're getting into that window for Hyena and the Galactic Republic Y-Wing to go free to play. We approximated January 27th. They have been showing up kind of early, so I would expect any sort of title update we get this week would probably make those farmable. On top of that,
at the very worst, I would expect to see the Hyena Bomber first, and then the Y-Wing to come into the next update if they want to split them up.
Yeah, they did release a couple days apart. Shipments actually hit a week apart, a little over a week. General Hux, Sith Trooper, and Resistance Finn, they rolled out within 9 days of each other from first to last. So they all should be hitting shipments between the 22nd and 31st. And I think that's when we'll start getting, if they're required for the legendary characters, I think we'll start seeing that so people can start buying them out of shipments.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, there's still more. We know at least one more character coming out, so it's going to be interesting to see what these events look like.
Right, yeah. So we should get the new Poe here for too long, or whatever spoiler characters they didn't want to release for whatever reason.
Oh, some of them weren't even spoiler characters. They said the abilities would give away spoilers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
all right.
Let's get on to the bump and grind list.
Yeah, I think we've got to talk about it. It's kind of working on saving gear and putting a little bit of relics on my clones. We're sitting in the same spot for Anakin and Malevolence, 90 of 100 on Anakin. So after this territory battle, we'll have that done. And long road on Malevolence.
Yeah.
100 more to go just to unlock.
Yeah, and everybody else that is different. So I have all my farmable characters currently at 6 stars and closing in on finishing up ARC Trooper, Holdo, Rose, Vulture Droid. Sith Fighter's a ways behind, but I'm not really. That is a luxury 7-star ship. I'm just doing it because it's there. Just doing one hard node ship attempt per day. I don't need to refresh it or anything. I'm in no rush to get the Sith Fighter up to snuff. That's it. I mean, I'm hoping to 7-star some characters this week. Hopefully.
Yeah. Should be able to.
Yeah, and at the very worst, I'll get Holdo up to 80 of 100 and just wait for the next Galactic Galactic
Oh,
Bounties
yeah.
2 to come back, get another 20 shards with hopefully with these Galactic Legends event. If Holdo's needed, a lot of times they'll bring back events like that to give characters or players a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, let's CG, while you're updating tiers, let's get some new tiers for those.
Yeah. Oh man, imagine needing Gear 13 bounty hunters. I mean, that seems like a good way to go. Add a
true.
Galactic Bounties 3 or add another. Actually, it'd probably be better off to add one more character into Galactic 1 and Galactic Bounties 2 and make the requirements basically needing relics to be able to complete. Would be nice to add, that's for sure. Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else in the game?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps that up. We'll move on to our Star Wars news. But if you feel like checking out now, hey, y'all know the deal. Leave us a review on iTunes, podcast server of choice. Check us out on Patreon. Join our Discord. Links in the show notes. Come talk about the game, your life, toys, your pets, your cats, whatever.
But until next time, guys. Later.
All right. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
Real fans sticking around.
Got rid of them.
Rise of Skywalker, Duel of the Fates script leak. Did you read any of this?
I did not. I saw all of this. I did not read that yet. I did see there were some differences.
There was some stuff in it. There were some... yeah, definitely some differences. Trying to kind of think it's off the top of my head.
I mean, the big thing that I heard about it was like they were different. Everybody seemed to overall like the J.J. Abrams version that actually released, and that overall it really wouldn't have changed their opinion about the movie.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. One of the things that they did in this script was it went... it followed up the Resistance Reborn book a little more closely. One of the big plot points in the book was the First Order going after Force-sensitive children, which played on the fact that anybody could be a hero and all of that.
Which played into the fact of the end of the second movie with the kid force grabbing the broom at the casino world.
Right. So it turns out like all these children are being rounded up and taken to Coruscant, and Finn and Rose lead a assault on Coruscant, and Finn actually gets a legion of First Order troopers to defect and join him to help rescue these children.
Okay, so so basically he gets the clone troopers or troopers to actually defect rather than finding them like he does in the current movie.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, Rose is going to be a lot more in there. She's going to be a lot more action starred. Rey, Finn, and Poe steal a Star Destroyer. I found a kind of a Cliff Notes version here. Luke has a lot more like Force communication with Kylo, because that's what he told him at the end of Last Jedi. Was, "You strike me down, I will be with you always." So that would have been pretty cool. Let's see. Kylo gets zapped by the Emperor's hollow cube, leaving him hideously deformed. So he gets the Mandalorian armor melded to his body. The Emperor is more of like a dark side monster type thing that is guiding Kylo. So that would have kind of sucked. That alien was Palpatine's master and was the backup plan. If Luke killed the Emperor, Vader was to bring Luke to this evil being for reprogramming. Nitro Brand would have had a bigger part. One of the things I would have liked is Rey built her lightsaber toward the beginning of the movie from her staff and Luke's broken lightsaber, so it would have kind of mirrored Luke building his as part of becoming a Jedi.
It would make more sense with Rey going through growing up, being more fighting with a staff, having more of a lightsaber staff. I would have enjoyed that more in the new movie if she actually would have done that and actually had like a saber staff rather than what she did have, just using a regular saber.
So that was it. I think Poe Finn was more of a thing in this one. So I think they were actually going toward that, and then Resistance Reborn book really hinted at that. But I think they got cold feet and pulled that way back. Emperor wasn't in it at all. It was a super dark side alien, which would have kind of been cheesy. I think one of the other things they talked about was Kylo actually killed Rey's parents, which that's a little much.
Yeah, that would have been, nah.
Yeah, so it's out there. I mean, there were some things I would like better on here. And again, a script to what actually ends up on the screen, two different things. You know, not a lot of this stuff is feasible to shoot. I'm still happy with what we got. Could have been better.
And like we talked, and we talked in other episodes about going through that. There's a lot of rumors that Rise of Skywalker and the release version, there is actually quite a bit that was cut out that was done by the
the studio did a lot of cutting.
Yeah, the studio did a lot of cutting in which it would go through, slow it down a little bit and build out some of those more plot points to make it a little bit more impactful. That I'm really hoping it's kind of like Lord of the Rings and other movies in which those sections get added into an extended cut version when it gets released on DVD and downloadable form.
Yeah, there's rumors floating around that there'll be a re-release, in theaters, kind of like they did with Endgame, extra 10 minutes or so, which I can see the studio doing that, just cutting out some stuff just to be able to add it back in.
Yeah. I'm hoping they add like another 15, 20 minutes into that movie of cut stuff just to slow down the pace a little bit, drive the plot a little bit more, and go from there. So it's hard to tell when you're just looking at a raw script like that. It might have been in this original or in the released film to go through and address a lot of those plot points, and the studio might have cut it, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Oh, well, another cool thing on the script here is Rey and Kylo actually battle on Mortis, which would have brought that back in.
Yeah.
So that would have been a little interesting. But yeah, hey, it's what it is. We'll be speculating on Star Wars until the end of time.
Yeah. It'll never end with the Disney license attached to it. They're definitely gonna want to keep evolving the everything go along with it, and I do not blame them. It's
no,
a great thing, that's for sure.
Yeah. We talked about Resistance kind of being the hot thing. There's a picture of George Lucas holding little baby Yoda.
Oh man!
Did you see that pic?
Yes, I did.
It is very, very, very blurry, but very cute.
Yes.
I guess talking about Resistance, there's some season 2 casting rumors going around. Again, rumors take with a absolute grain of salt, but if this is true, it'd be pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen some of these. Chloe Bennett joining the show as one Dr. Aphra. What do you think about that?
All right. I mean, that would be amazing if they go through and add that in. Leaves more for possibilities to enter the game. That's always good.
And if they're planning on doing a full live action season or live action show about Afro, that would be a nice tie-in or introduction there. They've got Bill Burr coming back as Mayfeld. That would be kind of a given. A few other interesting things on here is Dan Donahue coming back as Shurgav, which was a character from Battlefront.
Okay.
And they also have Iden Versio coming into the Mandalorian, played by Janina I'm going to screw her name up. Gavin Carr, the actress that played Iden in the game.
Yeah.
Which the timeline makes sense. It's in the same period. They got D. Bradley Baker as Bosk.
All right.
Genevieve O'Reilly as Mon Mothma.
Okay. Mon Mothma would be a good addition.
Yeah, and this is what kind of makes me question this whole graphic. They got Clancy Brown coming back featuring as Blurg. He was not Blurg. He was the Hellboy guy, the Deveronian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was with Bill Burr. He's part of that group.
Yeah, but was his name Blurg?
No, it was something else. Blurgs are the things.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep, I don't know. I mean, overall, I could see... It seems like they're going through and putting some of the names in there just because of The Mandalorian being very much fan service, trying to go through and add a little Easter egg here, a little mention there to either bring things into canon or just kind of a callback. And that's what seems like a lot of those are. It's like all these characters people want to see and want to see more of, and them just putting it out there saying, hey, they're doing all this other fan service. Why not for these characters also?
Right. Well, let's see. They did confirm that we are going to see originals or Skywalker saga characters in season 2 of The Mandalorian. I don't think we're seeing Luke Skywalker or anything like that, but it would make sense to see some of these characters. I'm just doing some research here. Somebody actually tweeted Janina about this and asked if that graphic was true. And her response was, "You'll have to ask Mr. Dave Filoni." So
yeah, that sounds more. The other denials you usually see, as far as the actors or actresses going through denying a role like that, is if it's not true, they go through and go, "You'll have to ask them. I really wish I would have." Received something.
Right, or I would love to be, or something like that.
Yeah, usually when they go through and ask, you'll have to ask the director or something like that, and not saying, I would love that role. It usually means, yeah, they're into talks for that, or they have been, and they just aren't allowed to say yet.
Right. Hey, that's cool. I'd like to see her in there. It was a cool little story in Battlefront 2.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
And if Shreve is in there, he is the same race as Mr. Cad Bane.
Ooh.
So if they can do one, they can do them both.
All right. Anything else in the Star Wars universe there?
I talked about Resistance TV show winding down. It's okay. It's really catching its stride toward the end, unfortunately. I think if they had been given a little more room to breathe, it could have been up there with Rebels or Clone Wars. I just think, as confined as it was, it just never reached its full potential.
Yeah. Yep. But definitely worth a watch, though. It's worth a watch. It's just, yeah, don't expect it to extend out the Star Wars universe greatly.
Yeah, and that part of the timeline really needed it, unfortunately.
Yep.
All Speaking of needing it, it's about time to go. I need some more medicine and to go to sleep.
Yeah, right there with you. So that's all we got for you this week, guys. Until next time, later.
See you.
As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the hollow table soon.